welcome to a brand new episode of the Fit Women's Weekly podcast. I'm actually a little bit nervous today because this is the first episode that I'm trying to video record at the same time as audio record. I'm just playing around with different types of content creation to you guys, and I know that not everybody listens to podcasts. Some people like to watch their podcast. So if that's you and you're watching this, thanks for tuning in. If you do like to listen to podcasts, then head over to iTunes. Just do a quick search for Fit Women's Weekly and you can find all of the previous episodes as well. But yeah, I'm excited, guys, but also nervous. I got some butterflies in my stomach. But yeah, hanging out at home, getting a lot of stuff done, and a lot of stuff that I want to chit chat with you guys about if you are up for it. We kind of always start things off by recapping some stuff going on in life. If you haven't already, make sure that you sign up for our 7-day trial to be entered in to win the October Sweaty Selfie Challenge. So what does that mean? Well, on the line are 2 brand new Rogue kettlebells. Oh, there's a mosquito flying around. 2 Rogue kettlebells, a Nike Speed jump rope, a free month to Fit Women's Weekly Live, Fit Women's Weekly Live swag, and I've got some really cool extra sponsor material left over from my retreat that I'm going to throw in there as well. So all you have to do is sign up for a free 7-day trial at Fit Women's Weekly Live. Try one workout. Like, what's that going to hurt you? If you love being challenged and you love trying new workouts, then you're going to love this. Try a workout. Then at the end, snap your sweaty selfie, and that's your entry. Dan's created a page where all you have to do is upload your image, write your name, your email address, and then on Halloween, October 31st, we will choose one lucky winner, and then that winner will win that sweaty selfie bag. In fact, we're going to make sure to get the sweaty selfie swag bag out that following Monday. So there's not going to be any wait. You're going to be able to win and get your goodies and start using them immediately. So that's pretty cool. I'll make sure to link up everything into the show notes, but also you can just go to fitwomensweekly.com and get all the details on that. Now there is one more thing that I want to share with you guys. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on this. I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm not really sure because, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't going to make this a thing that I was going to talk about. But a lot of my clients, after we finished our summer shred challenge, which is a 8-week fitness and nutrition challenge, they were all like, can we do another one? Let's get started. And I do love challenges, but I also believe in taking like rest breaks between challenges. And we always do a really big one with our studio in January. So I didn't want to do too many things back to back, but I did want to finish the year off strong and give something of value to our members. So after kind of thinking things through and what I wanted to do, all I could think of was giving my brand new nutrition program away to my current clients as a way of saying thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for inspiring us to create Fit Women's Weekly Live during the craziness of 2020. And you know what? At the end of the day, we may not be completely where we were before this COVID stuff, but we're still here. And there's a lot of companies, especially in the fitness industry, that can't say that. So I'm so thankful to all of our current members, not only for just sticking with us, but for giving us feedback and helping us to figure out things along the way of how to create this amazing online community. And so for the 8 weeks from October 19th through December 11th, I'm giving my clients, and that could be you too, a free 8-week nutrition coaching program called Plan Smart Eat Real 2. I've already created the first one and it was a huge hit. Like, I had clients that were losing 15 to 25 pounds in that 8-week period. And then I also had clients that just wanted to fuel better, wanted to learn a better understanding of the foods that they put into their body and learn how to make smarter decisions when it comes to those food choices. And so it's kind of a program for everybody. It's not kind of, it is a program. And it was such a hit that I knew I wanted to make it even better. So I've created all brand new recipes. There's 8 weeks of meal planning, 8 weeks of brand new recipes. Each week has 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, 5 dinners, and snacks and desserts. So we're talking over 100 brand new recipes, and there's a photograph for every single one because I hate getting meal plans or getting a cookbook and there not being an image. So on top of that, with the 8 weeks of meal plans, we're also going to have weekly coaching where I'll talk about really important subjects as far as like how to balance cravings, how to not sabotage your nutrition, how, you know, when you're doing really great for one day, and then you want to be like, oh, I did so good yesterday, I can eat this today. And so you end up not moving anywhere forward because every time you take one step forward, you take 2 steps back. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about making it through the holidays. We're going to talk about What if you want to eat healthier, but your family isn't on board? Do you make 2 different meals? How can you get that team going so that you can start moving forward and feeling better, and also start to influence the people around you to make a little bit healthier decisions? We're going to talk about, are you a moderator or are you an abstainer? That's something that's really important for you to figure out in order to know what you need to do to take better control of your nutrition. And then I'm also going to teach you that it's okay to eat bad. And we're going to actually talk about this in this week's episode too. Like, eating unhealthy is healthy. It doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't mean that you eat crappy or you're not going to be able to hit your goals. It means that you're human and you enjoy food. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But anyways, this is an amazing program. It's $187 normally when I do it, and I'm giving it away for free. So if this is something that you're like, oh my gosh, how can I get on board with this? All you have to do is sign up for Fit Women's Weekly Live for the 8-week Finish Fit Challenge. So you'll only have to pay for 8 weeks of Fit Women's Weekly Live, which is still cheaper than the $187, so that you can finish fit. You're going to get unlimited workouts. You're going to get daily coaching. You have access to hour-long workouts or 30-minute workouts every single day. So choose the one that's best for you, 2 to 3 to 4 days per week, however many times it is that you want to work out. And then get the community aspect, talk to me, talk to Dan, talk to the other ladies in the group, and of course have access to that nutrition plan. It's going to be amazing, you guys. So if you're interested in it, you can email me, Kendall@fitwomensweekly.com, or you can check the show notes. I'll have the link there to get you all signed up. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have that down in the description as well. And I'm only taking 50 new people for this program because it is such an amazing opportunity that I don't want too many people to get bombarded, and then I don't get to give you the attention that you deserve to see the results that you want. So yeah. You guys, this is going to be awesome. This together, normally for Fit Women's Weekly Live and the nutrition program, would be $301, I think, when I did the math. But you guys are going to get access to it for $114 for 8 weeks of training, 8 weeks of personalized nutrition. Come on. Like, it's a no-brainer. Come on, let's finish strong. And you only have, like, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, the 12th, 13th, 14th, you only have until the 16th to get signed up. So if you're listening to this afterwards, I'm sorry, this starts the 19th, and you got to be signed up with time for me to get you all set up and be able to get the meal plan for week 1 and answer any questions so that everybody feels comfortable. So yeah, that's the Finish Fit, Finish Fueled event that I'm starting on the 19th, and it's going to be huge. I'm so excited for this. It's been I've actually been working on this program, you guys, since January. So I'm really excited to be able to launch it and share that with my ladies as a thank you. And thank you for listening. It's your support. It's their support. It's everybody's freaking support. Whew. All right. So what else do we got going on? Had a lot of great workouts last week. I had a great workout this morning. So Mondays I film an interval workout for Fit Women's Weekly Live every week. And I did a Tabata workout, which I don't normally do a lot of Tabatas. I kind of sometimes find them boring, but it was tough. My legs are burning. They're on fire today. Let's see, what was it? The first Tabata. So Tabatas are 20 seconds of exercise, 10 seconds of rest for 8 rounds per Tabata. So my first Tabata was a squat jack lunge jump combination. So it's a squat jump, lunge jump is 1. As fast as you can go and as intense as you can go for 20 seconds, followed by 10 seconds of rest, followed by power side lunges. So it was like a side lunge, power up, back to standing, and it was on the right side. So it was back and forth with those 2 for the first 8 rounds. And then we did a minute of some speed work just in between Tabatas. And then the second Tabata was plank up downs and star crunches, but star crunches only on the right side. And then the speed round for 60 seconds. And then the third round of Tabata, or the third Tabata, not third round, third Tabata, was another jumping thing, I think. It was a leg exercise. What was it? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was prisoner squats and then left side lunges to balance out the rights that we did before. And then our speed work for 60 seconds. And then our final Tabata was rainbow push-ups, which are actually one of my favorites, followed by star crunches on the left side. So yeah, it was a good workout. And I was in charge. Dan and I flip-flop each day who does the 30-minute workout and who does the longer workout. So this week I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the 30-minute workout. So that was pretty cool. And then what we do after the 30-minute workout, we say, all right, guys, that was awesome. If you're done for the day, peace out. If you want to stay around, we're going to have some training and some skill work. So I broke down the 4 big push-up variations that I see people doing wrong all the time. I broke it down. I went over what to do, what not to do, and then we tied those 4 variations back into one final Tabata. And those variations that I went over were pike push-ups. So many people do pike push-ups wrong, you guys. Lizard push-ups, which are one of my favorites. We did cover regular push-ups a little bit. And then what was the other one? Diamond push-ups are another one that I see wrong, mostly because people push back on their feet, and so their face comes to their hands versus their chest coming onto their hands. So then we did a Tabata with all 4 of those. My arms were swole at the end, which is a plus because I am working on some gains right now. I'm actually in a little bit of a bulking phase, which is new to me. I'm not really used to going through a bulking phase, but it's been interesting. But it's also been fun. Like, you kind of have to let go. If you've ever gone through a bulk with your fitness, you have to eat more. In order to build muscle, you have to eat more. And so when you're going through a surplus of calories, you can't build 100% muscle. You're going to add on a little bit of body fat along with that program, especially if you've been working out for a long time. For people who are brand new to fitness, it's a lot easier to change your body composition where you're adding muscle and burning fat than people who have been working out consistently for a really long time. It's just part of the game that you have to kind of just accept. So I am in a little bit of a bulking phase right now, and it feels really good. It feels good to see my body changing. Even though it's hard sometimes to embrace that it's a little bit softer than it normally is, it's still like, okay, I have been working hard for these gains, and I'm okay with a little bit softer figure in order to get stronger and build the muscle that I've really been wanting to get for a long time. So stay tuned. I will share more on that later, specifically how I'm upping my calories, what that looks like, if that's something that you guys are interested in. So let me know. All right, so for today, so that's basically what's going on. Oh, the other update, and this is more also because this might be TMI, but I want y'all's feedback on this. You know, I talk to you as if we're girlfriends sitting down having a cup of coffee. This past weekend, Dan and I went to a local seafood restaurant here in Charleston called Grace and Grits. It's actually owned by one of my childhood best friends growing up. So proud of her. If you guys are ever in Charleston, go visit Grace and Grits. And then, but it's seafood, and we don't really eat a ton of seafood in our house. One of the reasons is because a lot of fish are overfished, and a lot of them are also dealing with plastics in their guts, not always the healthiest. That's something that I would have to have Dan on to talk more about. But for me personally, when I eat seafood, I smell like seafood the next day, as if it's like coming out of my pores. And it's almost like when I eat like asparagus, you know how you get asparagus pee? I get seafood pee. I want to know, I have researched it a little bit because Dan the other night was sitting with me yesterday on the couch and was like, oh, you smell like fish. So I want to know if I'm alone in this and I'm just a weirdo, or if this happens to anybody else. According to Dr. Google, this does happen to people. So yeah, let me know. DM me over on Instagram @TrainerKendall. Let me know if seafood affects your pee or the way that your body smells for a day, because it definitely does me. And I only ate scallops. Like, I really don't consider that very like seafoody. You know, it doesn't have that like fishy taste to it. But I don't know. I guess I'm weird. Oh, I did have shrimp too, so maybe that was it. All right, on today's episode, I have my notes, and I want to talk about, I've got 12 things here. 12 clean eating, don't want to necessarily call them hacks, but they are hacks, but also things that you think are healthy, but aren't necessarily healthy. I want to break through basically the BS of clean eating. Let's just say that. So let's start going through these. Number 1, eating unhealthy is healthy. I get so frustrated, and I've been there too, where you feel like if you eat cookies or cake or a piece of pizza that you're unhealthy. Well, these are foods that are surrounding us and they taste good, and really that just creates balance. Now, should you be eating cake every day or pizza every day? No, that's not something that you want to stay consistent with, but by introducing those foods into your diet from time to time, that just makes you human. It doesn't make you unhealthy. It doesn't make you less of a mindful eater. It just means that you like to eat those foods from time to time, and you should not feel bad. And if you eat pizza one day, it doesn't mean the next day you need to throw your healthy eating habits out the window because you failed. You haven't. You've actually lived life, and you've shown yourself that you can have balance. I have said this time and time again that one salad does not make you skinny and one piece of pizza does not make you fat. It's when you make consistent habits of eating pizza every meal, or a pizza instead of a slice of pizza, or, a cake instead of a slice of cake. Those are the things. Portion control is really what it comes down to. Calorie intake is what it comes down to, which at the same time, let's talk about that. Calories balance out. If you overeat one day, again, that is not unhealthy. That is being a human. That just means you're probably not going to be as hungry the following day or maybe 2 days later, and you won't eat as much that day. So if you undereat, again, that doesn't make you unhealthy unless you're doing it in an unhealthy manner purposely. But if you're just doing it because you're going off of hunger cues, that's actually eating intuitively. That's eating the way that you were meant to eat. So don't feel bad about that. Number 2, being a part of the Clean Eaters Club. I recently put on Instagram asking, what are your biggest nutrition struggles? And somebody said the need to be part of the Clean Eaters Club. And I can relate to this, you guys, more than you realize. When I was growing up, we would go visit my grandparents in North Carolina. And I think a lot of grandparents are like this. We were not allowed to leave the table until we were part of the Clean Eaters Club. Our plate had to be clean. And I was a proud member of that club. And I would get high fives for finishing all of my food. So of course that put into my head from a young age that I have to eat everything that's on there. And then of course we're also told eat all your food. There's a starving child in China that could be eating that. Well, here's the thing. I now follow the 80% fullness rule. When I'm 80% full, I go ahead and stop. If that means that all the food is off of my plate, that's great. If there's still food on my plate, that's okay too. I'm not going to sit there and stuff myself to feel disgusting just to be part of the Clean Eaters Club. And I like to remind myself of no matter how wonderful it would be if I ate those calories to be able to save a starving child, that's just not the way that the world works. But what you can do is, 1, put that food in a Tupperware dish, put it in the fridge, and have leftovers for another meal. That's always a win. You can put it in a compost area, which during the summer, I don't do that here because here in Charleston, it gets really hot and it just gets really nasty to have like an indoor compost in our condo. But during the fall and during the winter, when things do cool down, I do keep a compost container in our house so that food and vegetables that get left over get stuck into that. And then I use that for my plants. I wish I could show you guys. Oh, I will show you, those of you guys that are watching. This is my newest little plant. I love him. I have a little windowsill of different plants in front of me that just make me so happy. But at the end of the day, listen to your hunger cues. And if you have a ton of food left over, you could I don't know, you probably, never mind. I was going to say you could donate it to like the fire station or the police station, but chances are you probably can't right now. But anyways, you don't have to be part of the Clean Eaters Club at any time in your life. Eat until you're 80% full and then put the rest away for later. You can always be a seconds when it comes to the Clean Platers Club. Number 3, dessert is okay. I don't think that you should be having necessarily a huge slice of cheesecake every single night, but having something sweet to kind of put that period at the end of your dinner shouldn't feel bad or guilty. I consider a dessert part of my meal. I have eaten something for dessert every night for probably at least probably the last 3 years of my life, because before that I used to be that person that was like, eating dessert is something that's only a sometimes activity and it's a sign of weakness that I can't go without some sort of sweet. It means that sugar has control over me. You know what? That's BS. I eat a really healthy dinner and I can have a really healthy dessert each night. And on the nights or the days that I want something a little bit more extravagant, which happens just from time to time, that's okay too. It goes right back to eating unhealthy is healthy if you're doing it from time to time. Now, I have a little bit of sweet treat every night, and that sweet treat usually involves my homemade granola that I make, which is called Kettlebell Crunch. If you're interested in it, let me know. With a scoop of chocolate protein powder, a little bit of milk, and perhaps a splash of either honey or cashew butter, because cashew butter is the bomb. It's my favorite. And I mix that up like a pudding and the crunchiness of the granola in there. You guys, it is so good. And that just really tops me off for the night, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, one, it doesn't matter if you stop eating at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or if you stop eating at 9 o'clock in the afternoon. What it comes down to in terms of weight loss and weight gain is calories in and calories out. And for someone like me, who I am super active, I burn a lot of calories in my day. So because I eat so healthy, a lot of times after dinner, I still have room for dessert. And so I could have oatmeal, or I could have, I don't know, a salad. But why would I want to do that when I could have some kind of little sweet treat? So yeah, eating dessert is okay. Number 4, this is just a really quick tip that I like to tell all of my nutrition clients. And if you are somebody who has a hard time with eating seconds, like going back for seconds or overeating, what we do in our house is I go ahead and I plate all of our food. So, well, not like I make it sound like I have 5 people in our house. I plate my food and I plate Dan's food. Yes, I plate my husband's dinner for him because I like presentation. So I like to make it nice. And normally our meals are a little bit different. He likes different vegetables than I do, so I do change things up a little bit for his taste versus my taste. So I plate our food, and then before we even sit down, before I even call him in to say dinner is ready, I go ahead, I put all the food into Tupperware, and then I wash all of our dishes as far as the pots and the pans are concerned, and then we sit down to eat. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, there's not leftovers sitting out on the counter, so that after we eat, I make sure to give us plenty of food that we're going back for seconds. But also, I've just spent 30 minutes cooking a meal. I don't want to spend time after I've eaten cleaning the kitchen up. So I'm a cleaner as you go kind of person. So it just helps out, but at the same time, it really does help with portion control too. So make your meals, go ahead and put everything up in Tupperware, stick it in the fridge, and you're good to go. If you still have food left on your plate when you're done eating, there is no shame in putting that food in the Tupperware. Take it out. And there's also no shame if after you eat, you've waited a little bit of time and you're still hungry to go back to that Tupperware, open it up, and give yourself some second helpings. The problem is when you leave the food out and it just becomes second nature to, as you're cleaning the kitchen after you've already eaten, to stick a fork in and continue to taste test so that by the time you're done, you've now eaten 2 dinners. Does that make sense? So that helps a lot in our house, and I know it's helped with a lot of clients. Next, speaking of how long it takes me to cook, if it takes me 30 minutes to cook, I try to take at least 15 minutes to eat my food. I just get so frustrated, and I'm sure I am not alone on this, that you spend your precious time slaving in the kitchen is what it feels like to prepare this healthy, good meal for yourself and for your family, and then it gets scarfed down in 5 minutes. No, Dan tells me every night that I am the slowest eater, and I tell him that's because I want to savor my food. And at first it was kind of a joke, but with time, it's a real thing. Like, I have put my time and a lot of effort into making a meal. I don't want to just take it for granted and scarf it down. I want to savor the flavors. I want to kind of take in the bites and the texture. And sometimes that means putting my fork down between bites or chit-chat, making it an experience versus just trying to get the food down. And it's helped him to slow down as well. So family time is a lot more special than just sitting down for 5 minutes, wolfing our food down, and then going back to whatever we were each doing beforehand. So take your time. It also takes about 10 to 15 minutes for your body to register where it is on the fullness scale. So by slowing down your eating habits, you're allowing your body to tell you, are you still hungry? When are you full? So don't be afraid. Slow down. Enjoy yourself. Make it an experience. I actually just took our fine wedding china out of storage. I had it somewhere stored. Because I realized, what's the point of having this if we never use it? So I actually just went ahead and put it up with all of our everyday plates. And I've been using it. And it feels really special to have a dinner table that's set with our special china. And I don't know, it just is kind of cool. So that's something that I would definitely suggest to you maybe to try. Plus, we only have 3 settings. So if a piece of china were to break, I'm not going to cry because it's not like we ever get to use it when people come over anyways. So we have 3 settings. So technically that means I have 1 setting that if something happens, I'll still have 2 settings, which is enough for the 2 of us. Let's see. Number 6. This is actually another hack. Spending $50 on a cup is actually worth it. I used to be that person that when people were buying the hydro flask, I was like, you are freaking crazy. Why would you spend that much money on a hydro flask or on a Yeti cup? Well, I get it. And now over the years, I am that person as well. I don't drink a lot of water throughout the day. I know that I need to do better at that. And so I have invested, like here's one of my cups, invested in these as well, because one, you're like, okay, I'm putting money into it, I'm going to drink it. Two, it keeps your cup nice and cold and your ice, your water or whatever nice and cold. And three, when you find that mouthpiece that works, you're able to get down a lot more water in a time. And that's actually taken a couple. Like I do like my Hydro Flask, but I used to have the one that just had the screw-on lid and then the big mouth. That I didn't like. So I actually ended up getting the I still kept my Hydro Flask, but just got the different lid for it that has the straw. I have learned about myself that if I have a straw, I can probably drink at least 2 times as much water than if I were not using a straw. So for me, that's definitely a big thing. If I have like my tumbler that I'm using now, my Tervis, I just put a straw into the mouthpiece to help me. All right, speaking of which, let me grab some water, which I'm just drinking out of my LaCroix. Key lime flavor, it's the best. Let's see. Number 7, another hack. Keep your fridge and pantry clean at all times. When's the last time that you did a deep clean on your pantry or your fridge? For us, I clean my fridge every Friday. So I go grocery shopping every Friday, and when I get home, bring the groceries up, before I actually unload the groceries, I clean out my fridge. I get rid of any old leftovers, Tupperware, jars. I don't know if anybody else has this kind of spouse, but Dan is notorious for putting empty jars of like olives where it's just the olive juice or whatever the case may be back in the fridge. So I'll kind of just do like a pickup, like, oh, this is still, excuse me, this is still good, this is bad. And then, oh man, you guys, I'm choking to death. And then I do a clean, I actually wipe things down, and then I unload the fridge, and I'm able to put things where I want it. There's no crowding, and when I open it up, I can see exactly what it is that I'm looking for and how much healthy stuff that we have to choose from. And my pantry, I'm not quite as obsessed about keeping it clean, but I do keep order to it where I know where my baking stuff is for my own personal baking stuff. I know where all the canned goods are, all of our like hot sauces and our grains, and then the foods that we don't always eat that I don't want to keep right in front of me, I keep on the very highest shelf, just kind of out of view. But I know that if I'm ever craving like something really decadent, that would be the shelf that I go to. But there's not always stuff on there. Like right now, there's just a bag of chocolate chips for my next baking project. So nothing crazy going on there. But I do recommend that everybody spend some time getting rid of the old stuff, knowing what's in there, putting the things that you eat most regular at eye level in easy places to grab to keep yourself organized and keep it so that you're more likely to grab those good for you foods versus the processed foods. Let's see, number 8. Oh, if you don't spend your Sundays meal prepping, you guys, that's okay. You're not a failure. Sundays don't have to be spent doing 3 hours worth of work in your kitchen. I do believe in a little bit of meal prep is really important if you're trying to create healthier habits. But meal prep for everybody means something different. Meal prep to some might just be sitting down with a piece of paper and a pad and writing down your meals for the next 5 days. Or if you go grocery shopping every 3 days, then writing down your meal plans for the next 3 days. That's meal prep for somebody. Meal prep for another person might be just going ahead and chopping up the vegetables that they use most often, or going ahead and, like, if you buy the big packages of chicken, separating it up into putting 2 chicken breasts into Ziploc bags, or whatever the case may be. Just having things where it's easy to grab throughout the week in order to then prepare it later. And then you have the extreme, I call them the extremists because this is not me either, that do spend 3 or more hours in the kitchen prepping, where they're cooking multiple like casserole, like they're going ahead and they're cooking their meals for the week. And my best friend does this, and I salute her all the time. She goes ahead and she makes herself lunches and breakfasts throughout the week, and then normally 1 or 2 casseroles for dinner too, so that all they have to do is heat it up and then it's done. And that's great for some people, but I personally don't have the time to do that. And I also don't really like heating up leftovers very well. So I'm more in the line of planning out my meals for the week ahead, but also just prepping things as closely as I can to make it easier for when I actually do cook items. I do recommend prepping for people that have a hard time sticking to meal plans. I do know there are a lot of people out there, I get this, that you write your meal plan, but then on Tuesday you go, I said that I was going to have this, but I don't really want that. And so then you end up ordering out. But if you had had it prepped, you would have been like, well, I don't want to waste this. It's already ready to go. You'll be more likely to stick to it. Number 9, speaking of eating out, it's okay to eat out. It's even more okay to customize your orders. Like, food is good. Food is a social experience. It's not just about fueling your body. The people that say they eat just to fuel are missing out on a lot of delicious flavors in this world and experiences, because food is meant to be enjoyed. And part of that is going out and socializing and trying new foods and new cuisines. But at the same time, when I go out, I order it to still meet what I need it to meet. And by that, I mean, I don't mind eating unhealthy. Don't get me wrong. But I do mind feeling like crap the next day. So there are certain things. I stay away from really heavy sauces. I stay away from fried foods. I stay away from a lot of vegetables that are baked in butter, really salty items. I don't really eat plates of food that are just pasta. I believe that pasta should be more of a side versus an entire meal. So I'm not afraid to customize things by any means and say, hey, can I have this instead of that? Remember, you're paying for food. You should be able to order it to your liking and to your standard. And I've never been told no. I've had people say, well, this is hard. How about this? And I'll say, perfect. That's great. If you're nice to the service, they're going to be kind to you and give you what you want. So I have no problem eating out, but I do make sure to order foods that I know will make me feel good. I hate leaving a restaurant feeling stuffed and gross and then waking up the next day feeling like I have a food hangover. Just because I'm eating out doesn't mean I'm going to go crazy and eat the most decadent things on the menu. So just to keep in mind. Number 10, just because you drink alcohol doesn't mean that you're better than somebody else. And I say this simply because I feel like sometimes, not everybody, like I'm not a big alcohol drinker, but people think that if you're not drinking alcohol, that you think that you're better than other people or you're healthier than other people, when that's not the case at all. That's just a decision that you've made, and that's fantastic. But you could also say that the people that do drink alcohol may be slightly healthier. I mean, the Centennials, people in the blue zones, drink wine. They actually, I think all of them except for one, drink alcohol on a regular basis. So yeah, just because you don't drink doesn't mean that you're better. Just because you do drink doesn't mean that you're better. You just got to do what you do. Dan always makes fun of me because I'm not a big drinker. I drink maybe 2 glasses of wine a weekend, unless I'm going out, then maybe 3. But the only reason I don't drink it because I'm scared of the calories. I drink it because I'm a lightweight, and just like I don't want to have a food hangover, I don't want to have an alcohol hangover. I have to work out most days of the week for my job, and the worst thing to do is to feel headachy and gross from drinking, and then I got to go jump around on a camera and swing kettlebells and do workouts. No, not doing it. I have learned my lesson, but that doesn't make me better than anybody else by any means. So just something to keep in mind when you're talking to people that either do drink or don't drink. It's their own thing. It doesn't matter. I've never questioned people that don't drink before, and I don't hassle people that do drink. Same with caffeine. Caffeine, drinking wine or coffee is not a sign of weakness or strength. It's just you doing what works best for you. And then number 11, paleo snacks and desserts. Do not justify eating a ton of them. And I can remember when Whole Foods first opened up when I was a kid. My dad went and bought a cake from Whole Foods, and he was eating way more than he normally would of like a normal cake. And when I called him out on it, he said, well, yeah, but it's organic. No, sugar is still sugar, and maple sugar or coconut sugar or maple syrup or honey is still sugar. It's still going to have the same effects on your blood. It's still going to have calories. Flour is still flour. Sweets are still sweets. So just because, it's not saying don't eat those, but again, it's going back to what we talked about at the beginning, where portion size is what it all comes down to. I actually know a lot of paleo desserts, because you're using flours like coconut flour and almond flour, have more calories than the quote-unquote original version, because nuts have a lot of calories in them. And think about how many nuts have to be ground up to make a cup of flour, for example. So just because it's paleo doesn't mean it's okay to eat twice as much. Remember, that's what got people in trouble years ago in the 90s and the early 2000s with the sugar-free, fat-free like Snackwells, was people would say like, well, because it's fat-free, I can eat 4 of them instead of 2 of them. So just something to keep in mind. Again, just trying to bring awareness to some of the big nutrition things that I see all the time. And then last but not least, number 12, being a woman does not mean we always have to be cutting calories and being on a diet. I can relate to this. I can relate to every single one of these things that I've mentioned today. But this one really hits home because I think Dan and I had a talk a few years ago where he was like, you know what, Kendall, you are always on a diet. You're always either trying something or you're working to get leaner. Why can't you just eat to eat and listen to your body? And that really hit home. And I finally realized like, well, that's because that's what's been engraved in our culture. Like, I feel like as a woman, even when you're out with your friends, you have to be like, oh, I'm on a diet, so I've got to get the salad. You know what? Screw diet culture. You do not always have to be on a diet. In fact, you should not be. That's why so many people suffer from metabolic disorder, because we've literally been spending the past 30 years of our life trying to starve ourselves to be skinnier when clearly, look at society, it's not working. When you starve yourself, you're just causing metabolic damage and doing a lot more harm than good. Here's a secret. When I was 22 years old, I got my first job as a medical assistant. I've told that, so that's not actually part of the story. But my first job was as a medical assistant, and I used to pack my lunch for that. My lunch, you guys, was a Kind bar and an apple. That was my lunch when I was 22. And I thought that as a woman, that's how it was supposed to be. I had read an article in Shape magazine saying that a snack is considered 200 calories and less, and that anything over that is a meal. So I would plan my meals to be about 250 calories each, thinking that that was okay. And it took a long time. I am now 36 years old, a long time to teach my body what's called reverse dieting, from where I was eating 1,100 calories a day, to now where I'm eating about anywhere from 17 to 2,200 calories a day. And in a state where my body can make, like, this is where my body's happy place is. So if you have been cutting calories for a long time, what I would recommend is just stop. Start refeeding your system and naturally telling your body, listen, I need you to rev up some more. I'm going to treat you healthier. I'm going to start giving you the nutrients that you need. And you're going to feel a lot better in the long run. The number one thing for a refeeding process is to just up your calories, like 100 to 150 for the first week each day. And then you'll see you're not going to pack on the weight. It's going to be at a slow amount, especially if you've been under eating. And yeah, you're going to feel a little bit awkward at first. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, am I going to gain 10 pounds? No. Just like with the pizza, you don't gain 10 pounds overnight. You can see how your body's changing if you want to make any tweaks. But I can almost guarantee you that if you are at a caloric deficit, as in you're eating under 1,500 calories and you're a normal sized human being, that it's time to make some changes. So if you need help with that, let me know. I'm happy to help out. But I'm tired. I'm tired of all of us having to feel like we have to diet or we can't be honest about what our nutrition is or what it should be. Yeah, I eat a salad every day. I love salad. It's not because I'm trying to lose weight. It's because I'm trying to get as many micronutrients into my body as I can. Micronutrients being all of the iron and the minerals and the vitamins that you can get from eating a crap ton of vegetables, right? And I get that by eating a salad every day. So yeah, but I make sure that it's got a lot of stuff on it. My bowl is humongous. All right, guys. Whew. That's been a long chat. Hopefully you have found something interesting in this chit chat. If you are watching it with me, thanks so much for hanging out. If you guys have any topics that you want to make sure get covered in future episodes, let me know. Drop it down in the comment section. Shoot me an email, Kendall@fitwomensweekly.com, or visit me over on Instagram @TrainerKendall. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing recommendations of what you want to see or hear on the show. And then, of course, make sure that you hit up fitwomensweekly.com, get set up for your 7-day trial. And like I said, I'm only inviting, this isn't something that's being promoted out to the world. So if you're interested in that 8 weeks of nutrition along with the 8 weeks of Fit Women's Weekly Live, so unlimited workouts, 8 weeks of small group nutrition coaching, 8 weeks of recipes and meal plans and live chats and cooking demonstrations, all that stuff, then the best way to probably go about that is either through Instagram or through email. Again, Kindle at fitwomensweekly.com. And Kindle's Kindal or Trainer Kindle on Instagram. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure that you like and subscribe and leave a review wherever it is that you listen to this podcast, and I will be back next week. Bye, guys.